Lest you think that there is no one out there who is so decrepit, so demented, so craven. I mean, what would it take? What type of human being could in any way justify this? It's hard to imagine. Oh, it's obviously Rudy Giuliani.
One of Donald Trump's top supporters, the former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, thank you for coming.
Hi, George. How are you?
Today, you heard the speaker right there saying this is a joke gone bad. Apologize?
Well, first of all, I was there, and I'd like the people at home to kind of get an idea of what happened in the presidential campaign.
Pause it. Is there anybody who heard the audio or saw the video of Donald Trump who feels like, well, maybe if I was there, I'd have a better understanding of what went on? But let's hear Rudy Giuliani's deep insight to what really happened.
What he said is that they should vote against her. He never used any.
But he was talking about after the election.
He was talking about the election in general. He wasn't talking just about after the election. You know how speeches go. He was talking about how they have the power to keep her out of office. That's what he was talking about. That is what...
Generally, but specifically he was saying this. He was talking about what he can't do anything after the election except the Second Amendment people.
We know Donald Trump is not particularly indirect. If Donald Trump was going to say something like that, he'd say something like that. I was there. I'd like the people at home to realize that the first time that any of us had any idea...
You see what Rudy Giuliani's defense is? This guy was a prosecutor. I hope he came up with against defense that was a little bit trickier than this. Donald Trump, if he wanted to say assassinator, would just say assassinator. He wouldn't shroud it. Come on. That's not the Donald Trump we know. Go ahead.
But that is the way it was interpreted, is when the Clinton spin machine interpreted it that way, spun it out to a press that is willing to hit him every day, bang, 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 and then asked us to question.
But in real time, you had people like the former CIA director, Michael Hayden, raising the exact same question.
It wasn't in real time. It was after the Clinton spin machine spun it out. They spun it out within about 8 minutes. Bam, like that. That is not what he intended. What he intended is very, very simple. What he intended was that they should vote against her.
I guess that's the question.
With a crowd like that, if that's what they thought he meant, they'd have gone wild.
Well, we did see that one guy behind him.
Which brings me to the guy behind Hillary Clinton, who's the father of a person who killed 49 people, who wounded 53 people, ends up being invited to sit in a prime position behind Hillary Clinton. And you got to ask yourself, number one, who invited him? We still don't know. And number two, what drew him to Hillary Clinton?
Well, they're saying they didn't invite him and that she's disavowed any of his support.
But why is he such an avid supporter? What is drawing him to Hillary Clinton, holding a big sign up about what a great president she's going to be?
What's amazing is that Stephanopoulos did not stop Giuliani when Giuliani said, well, imagine if he actually did say that. The crowd would have gone crazy and nuts. And Stephanopoulos should have said, like, excuse me, don't you think that's a problem? I mean, Giuliani is saying, what is it about Hillary Clinton that this one guy shows up in supporting her? Just after saying, let's be honest, George, if Trump had called for her assassination, the crowd would have cheered and gone crazy. And Stephanopoulos doesn't think like, hey, wait a second. Don't you think that's a problem? That Donald Trump is whipping up this level of hatred, that if he called for the assassination of someone else, that they would be cheering?
Muslims.
Yeah, exactly.
Black people. It's obvious who invited the dad, though.
Oh, yeah. Huma.
Of course.
It's part of the whole Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes.
Sisi's probably somewhere in, stowed away in Egypt.
Morsi is waiting for the Hillary election, and then there's going to be simultaneous terrorist attacks, and that's when Hillary will announce that we're nuking Tel Aviv.
So bigly.
And then Obama will return as chief caliph of the United States.
Totally bigly. Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.